Hello, and welcome to another episode of our Opolis Inc. Modpack playthrough. Hope today's going swell and well for you so far. As for me, well, it's flying. It's there's something better there. Oh well, let's dive into another episode. All right, and perfect timing to the sun setting, so we can't really go do all too much. But yes, we've gotten the armored jetpack for mechanism, allowing us the ability to fly. One downside is I don't believe there's any like slime boots or rubber boots in this mod pack, so nothing to really stop your fall damage until you get to mystical agriculture armor, which we're hopefully inching our way towards, but certainly not making leaps and bounds towards. So we'll get into everything that's happened in between episodes just after we take a little snooze here. And let's see. So I guess let's start with the basics. Get it? Because these are basic bucks. Basically, I cleared out everything from over here, moved it over there as far as all the mechanism, equipment, and all that stuff, just so I have more room along this wall to continue outputting more automated bucks. So what we have here is a market with an unbreakable basic farming license, which is pretty easy to obtain if you come to crops. Just requires 256 basic farming bucks, so pretty cheap there. And then we're just inserting wheat and wheat seeds because this thing alternates back and forth between needing seeds and needing a crop, right? So wheat, I think, is the best option for that because it gives you both seeds and the crop. You could also use beetroot, something along those lines, but as long as it has a seed output and a crop output, because if you just do carrots or potatoes, eventually you'll get seeds like what I have here, and then you're just kind of waiting on it. So seeds will be the slowest portion of this, but also we don't need a ton of farming bucks and we already have 208. So really the whole purpose for those is going to be the garden cloches. Let's see, catalog. Yeah, so these, which auto produce, trees and crops and all that kind of stuff. And the organic compost, which turns into rich soil, which you need to power the cloches. So that's the first setup. Second setup here, we have oak logs and a specialized wood license, which gives us basic storage bucks. And you can just fill this up with oak logs. So that's what we have here. We have 2 cloches being sped up with constantan blocks, each of them producing oak, byproducts. So rich soil, somebody was asking me about this. Rich soil goes in the middle slot, sapling goes in the top slot. Not sure about the catalyst. It looks like a nether star, so we'll figure that out when we get a nether star, I guess. And then we have one oak drawer that just holds apples and saplings, and one that just holds wood. I could have done a 2x2 for this, or a 1x1, whatever the hell it's called, but you get the point. 1x2, 2x1, something like that. So yeah, that's how those two are being automated. Really simple. The basic storage bucks, we'll end up needing these when we finally get into Applied Energistics 2, which I keep saying I'm going to, and then not doing. So we also went ahead and set our power setup up. I believe last episode we ended up getting into advanced power, right? Getting some of the advanced power bucks, which allowed us to get the energizing orb. I went ahead and made the energizing rods and a couple of the cables to power it. We don't have any power going to them currently, but we'll look at getting that set up today. And speaking of quartz, we did go to the Nether to get a couple things checked off of our Nether to-do list. So from the Nether, I'm sorry I always come back with a so or an all right. It's just an easy like, jump back in. Anyways, the Nether to-do list was pretty short, actually. We needed quartz, nether quartz, and we needed Solium. Let me see. I have the harvester. Yeah, so we needed Solium ore, which you can find in the Nether. So let's go ahead and go over there, make sure I have my gold stuff on, and yeah, we'll fly on in. We'll get into the jetpack here in just a second, so no worries on that. And yeah, be careful with fall damage with the jetpack because again, it's possible. So we basically just mined all of the nether quartz that was around us, which is why you don't, well, I mean, there's some up there, but obviously I wasn't going to climb up there. And then we got lucky enough that whenever we spawned in, we looked straight ahead and there was some soulstone, which encased within soulstone is Solium. So if we tear some of this away, we might, there's some. So it looks very, very similar. Maybe I can get right up next to it and put a torch, a couple torches down. So you can see it has the little like chocolate chip bits in it as opposed to the normal soul stone. And this is the stuff that you will need. You can use fortune on it using the fluix, but you really only need 4 of these because once you have 4 solium dust, you can take some Imperium essence, which you should be able to obtain, prosperity seed, and you can make some solium seeds, which of course, ooh, okay, that's weird. We'll give you solium essence once grown, and then you just have infinite solium dust. So you really only need 4 of them. You don't have to get super lucky and find a larger vein like what I've done here. Small one will work fine as well. And we'll probably be coming back into the Nether at some point today if we get everything else checked off the checklist, because we will eventually need to go find some blazes. So we'll get into that well, when we get an opportunity, basically. Because I do want to get power set up and going, and then this is everything that was moved over, which transitions into the jetpack pretty nicely. Taking a look at the jetpack recipe here, and this is just the normal jetpack, not the armored jetpack that I have on. It's very simple. You need steel, which we've already gotten before. It's just coal and iron into a mixer, using the Opolis utilities, I believe. Basic control circuit, basic chemical tank, and tin. So all this is very simple. We've gotten all that before. The chemical tank is just osmium and redstone. So everything is very, very simple to get just the jetpack. And if you want to look at the steel here, you can see you put it into a solidifier, right? From the casting mod, actually, is what it's called. And you can mix molten iron and molten coal. For iron, you'll need 1 ingot. That'll make you 90 millibuckets. For coal, you can just use 2 pieces because that gives you 80 for each. And of course, you need 160 to make steel. So 1 iron ingot, 2 coal gives you 1 steel. Very simple, very cheap, and gets you into that pretty quickly. Now, the next thing that you'll need for your jetpack is going to be fuel because well, you can't fly if you don't have any fuel. The fuel that's used in the jetpack is going to be hydrogen. Hydrogen can be obtained by taking an electrolytic separator, pumping water into it, and giving some power. What you see I have here, down on the bottom right, we have dumping excess. You can dump it all, or you can leave it idle. We have idle on the hydrogen because this side we want to back up. And honestly, we may even want to put a chemical tank for it to offset into there. Do we have any osmium and redstone on us? We do have osmium. We just need to get some redstone. But essentially, you can just throw your jetpack into here. And you can see it'll start taking the hydrogen that's been stored up. And the water will be slowly converted into hydrogen and oxygen once more. Now, if we leave the oxygen on idle, it will fill up eventually. And if we try to fill up our hydrogen, obviously, since the oxygen we're not really doing anything with, it will stop the process because you need both of these to sort of need more room in order for it to go. Same way hydrogen is stopping oxygen from being produced now, oxygen can stop hydrogen. So I recommend just clicking this little circle once. It'll say dumping excess. And so anytime your oxygen gets to full, it'll just dump it instead of blocking you like this. All right, now looking at the armored jetpack, you just simply take the normal jetpack, combine it with some bronze, a block of steel, and some diamond dust. Bronze, again, can be made in the solidifier and the mixer using tin and copper. I believe that's 3 copper to 1 tin is the ratio, which gets you 4 bronze. And then let's see, diamond dust can just be made by putting diamonds in the crusher. Now, speaking of diamonds, I've made a little setup here using using a combiner and the casting mod. So just to show you real quick, because I did go through and essentially just duplicate diamonds. That's basically what this allows you to do, which is really nice because it means you don't have to wait 10 years for your quarry to find, 3 diamonds. What you can do, I believe we should have, we have some diamonds in here. And it really only takes 2 to start off, and you need advanced mining bucks. So basic mining bucks won't allow you to do this because they just don't produce enough. However, if we take a look at our diamonds here, we can see that we can get diamonds by putting a basic diamond ore block with bucks, specifically mining bucks, in the combiner. So if you use basic, you'll get 2. If you use advanced, you'll get 3. Elite gives you 4. And ultimate gives you 5. Sorry, I had a call from the wife. Oh, it's also nighttime out. So let's head home. Let's sleep real quick, and then we'll finish going through the diamond demonstration. The DD, as I like to call it. Not to be confused with the designated driver, which still very important. It's a very different task. So I cannot get these illagers to... Hey, stay out of that village. I have my shield on me? I do. Look here, you little bastards. It's me that you want. Ow. If you don't mind just slaying this little captain here, we'll get on to the rest of you silly men. Bravo. Oh, wait. Does it always drop as a potion now? Does it not matter? Have I been playing volleyball with human lives for no reason? Or pillager lives. Let's not be dramatic. Ow. Motherfucker. You're on, like, opposite timings, and this is really the worst for me. There we go. A little volleyball action of my own. Ooh. How you like that super crit? Leave my village alone. Yeah, an ominous bottle. Holy. Hour and 40 minutes. So we won't be drinking that. Probably need to go offload it just so I don't accidentally do it. But that's okay. We got a demonstration here. Alright, so back to what we were saying. Diamonds. Combiner. You can put advanced in and get 3 diamonds. 3 diamonds is important because you can take, let's see, melting. You can take 1 diamond and get 90 millibuckets, and of course you can use 180, which is 2 diamonds, to make a diamond ore block. So if you get 3 diamonds from using the advanced, or the elite, what is it? The advanced mining bucks, then obviously you can duplicate this at 1.5 times the rate. So if we put in 4, because that'll give us a nice round number again. So if we put in 4 diamonds here, we should ultimately get 6 out. So 4 diamonds go in. You will need stone blocks down here, which we obviously have plenty of. You can use the resource generator to get these. So we get 2 diamond ore blocks out. Put those into the combiner, and there we go. Now we have 6 diamonds. So you just do this over and over again, and obviously the more diamonds you put in, the more diamonds you get out, because it's just going to multiply it by 1.5. The other nice little caveat with diamonds is eventually you can sell it into the market with the tier 3 mining license. This will give you elite mining bucks, which of course you can then send back with diamonds to get you 4. So getting diamonds, redstone, all this stuff is not necessarily difficult, but it is a process. And a process where you do need infinite advanced mining bucks. So for those of you wondering why I spent so much time trying to get these, well, now you know. It's because I wanted to have infinite of everything else. Now we have infinite gold, infinite redstone, all that stuff. And of course, we'll have to go sit it like in there and then transfer it back through. And yes, I could automate that, but that would take a lot of a setup in order to automate every single little thing. So, and occasionally I will come over here and just throw in some basic mining bucks, because obviously we produce a ton on the side that we're never really going to use. And that kind of helps us to churn out more advanced mining bucks a little quicker. So that's our new setup. That's our jetpack. Those are the basic mining bucks. We went to the Nether. So yeah, the whole reason we wanted Solium was so we could get the harvester from Mystical Agriculture, because it will actually auto-harvest crops in a meaningful manner. You can use the block breaker, but you can't use the block placer to replace these blocks. So the only way to really automate this fully is to have the harvester. I went ahead and made the machine upgrade, which you can make the base machine upgrade just like so. Prosperity iron, just like that. And then you just basically upgrade it through the tiers. So inferium, then prudentium, and that's all I've gotten. I think tertium is probably the one we're really going to want, because it increases the operation speed by 2.5 as opposed to 1.6. So hopefully that'll be able to keep up with everything that we have going on here. Now, the second portion of increasing our crop growth, because we do ultimately want Mystical Agriculture to be our center resource generator. I think it will end up being the best in the end, but it's going to take some time and some input to get it going. So we have these growth accelerators at each tier of essence, essentially. And basically what happens is, as you go up in tiers, you can place more of these blocks underneath each other, and I'll show you the setup and exactly what it looks like here in just a second. But that also means that you need more of the blocks to hit max range. So there's kind of this happy medium of how many of these blocks can I make to where I can have the most crop spots increased to the maximum range, if that makes sense. So like if I'm using the prudentium, I want to have 18 of these in a row. I don't want to just have one, because then I might as well just have inferium, right? Up to the point of having 9 in a row. The second that I want to put 10 in a row, okay, well now we can start looking at prudentium. So my logic was to not strike super low with inferium, but to go one up. So we have prudentium growth accelerators, and if I dig down here, you can see, there they are. Well, there's one. And essentially, these 4 spots all have them. So if I dig down, you'll see it just keeps going down. And this goes down for 18 blocks. So you have the farmland where the crop is being grown, and then underneath it is where you actually have the growth accelerators. So I hope that makes sense as far as how to actually speed up the growth of these, but you can see that these are now growing so quickly that the machine doesn't really keep up. And that's because the initial machine operates at 100 ticks. So basically once every 5 seconds, it'll harvest something. Well, these grow up faster than that now, which is really nice, but it does mean that our machine is kind of lagging behind. Still getting good outputs here, but it is taking a little bit. So what we need to do now is actually take the machine upgrade and upgrade it to tertium. After that, we're basically just going to hope that this advanced solar generator is still enough to power it, because currently the advanced solar generator is all that's needed to power this machine with the prudentium machine upgrade. So that being said, let's take all of this essence out of here. Let's go grab whatever essence we have over here, which is not a whole lot, because I literally just made the growth accelerator. So obviously that took a large amount of essence. We also need to start thinking about avoiding some of this stuff over here because like lead, I've never used it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Also, probably need to make some more of these, but that'll come in the future. That one's getting pretty high. And yeah, you just don't need too many of these raw blocks because as I showed you, you can always duplicate them, which you may not want to duplicate if you're not going to use all too much or, you know, you already have a large amount. So it's really mostly useful for things like gold, diamonds, redstone, things that you'll either need to use a whole lot of or things that you won't be getting a whole lot of, right? All right, so we have Inferium. Don't I have the crystal on me? I thought I'd left it in my inventory. I don't see it. There it is. And I shouldn't have any back down there. So let's see if we can make this now. We're going to need some tertium ingots, which means we're going to need some iron. Iron. Where are you? Guess we can go get some smelting real quick. Yes, we have infinite iron just up over the hill, but this is perfectly fine to take from this as well. It doesn't matter where you're getting your resources from as long as you have the resources to get what you need. That's my philosophy anyways. There's some iron as well. All right, so let's take a look at this. How do we actually get into this? We'll need tertium, and then we'll need some of this, which means we'll need at least 4. So we'll need some prosperity shards. Forget about that. These are still doing pretty well, but prosperity shards are something that you may want to think about duplicating as well. And basically the same setup works. You can melt them, you can re-pour them. It does take 300 millibuckets, so just keep that in mind. And you can combine them. So for the advanced, you get 6. Each one gives you 100. You need 300 to make 1, so you're doubling your output with that, which is pretty good. So let's take this. We'll go ahead and try and make tertium real quick. $43. Is that going to be enough? I guess we'll see. Need 4 of these, which we had perfect. 4, and I think we're missing 2 tertium. Yeah. So that shouldn't be too difficult for us to accrue here. Let's see, that is still at 0. And we have gotten some more in here. Let's... my inventory's getting kind of full. Let's put some of these decorative blocks away. That should be fun. And grab out our tertium watering can. And just get to going. Now, the other thing that'll help our production output with this harvester is if we can get supremium in all of the soil, right? So this one is tier 5, which is why we have 300% inferium output. And this one is 2 below it, so 200. 1 up, and base is, of course, 100%. Here's my hoe. Also, I don't know, the Fluix hoe has fortune on it, but I don't know if fortune works on the plant. So if somebody knows the answer to that, like, does using the Fluix hoe matter when I'm just doing my little Ultimine harvest there? Or is it all the same? I would assume it matters, but you know what assuming will do? It'll make an ass out of you. So, just you, though, not me. Let's do this. What I say, I needed 2 more. That should be fine there. Perfect. All right, so let's go grab the upgrade out of the machine. And then, yeah, hopefully, like I said, this advanced solar generator can just handle the load. There we are. Now our operation speed should be much, much faster. Let's get that. That's handling it. This is going down, but we won't really know until it kind of equals. Until it equals out here. Almost there. There. All right, so that's full. Now, is this still going down? Nope, it's going back up. Cool, so this can actually power it. And how quickly does this work? If it's working 2.5, 100. I have a calculator somewhere easily accessible. Should be going at 40. So once every 2 seconds it should be harvesting. 1, 2. No harvest. Is that not right? 2.5, like 100 divided by 2.5. That should equal your result there, I think. Or is it 100 divided by 2.5 minus, take that result and minus it from 100? I'm not sure, but it's not keeping up. Why is this not, how slow is this going? 2.5 operation speed. I mean, I think it should be, and it should be going in a larger area too. Doesn't seem like it's harvesting that fast though. Once every 2 seconds, like these 5 in the middle have just been chilling for I don't know, a solid minute now. Is there something wrong with them? Let's try mass harvesting everything. Wait for something to grow naturally, I suppose. See how that works. I don't think it should matter whether it grew naturally or by watering can, honestly. But yeah, you can see these 4 obviously grow at a much faster rate. All right, so there's that. 1, 2. No. Does it not increase the speed of the harvester? Does the harvester always go at once every 5 seconds? Because that's really slow. But also, it should have harvested it by now, right? I mean, 5 seconds have passed. And it's still not harvesting it. What is the matter? Well, I don't know. I thought that would make it go faster. Should we try to go to Imperium, which uses 8x operation speed? Because if that's not a significant, output, then I don't know what would be. But this should be harvesting, correct? Yeah, power. Well, there it goes. Oh, it just took both those out. What? Something doesn't feel right here. I don't know. But as long as it's harvesting and I'm not the one over here having to do it, I don't really care. All right, so you take all this back. That's fine. But basically, yeah, we'll just want to set up more harvesters, more crops. We want to get a whole lot of inferium, so honestly shouldn't be that hard because obviously we can duplicate our diamonds. The harvesters, not too expensive. Some redstone, some iron, Solium, which is only 2 Solium dust and some more prosperity. So yeah, it should be all fairly simple. And as long as we duplicate our prosperity shards, we shouldn't run out of those either. So with all that being said and out of the way, let's look into power because we're just kind of waiting on mystical agriculture, right? And if we're waiting on one thing, we should be working on another. That is typically how you want to progress through mod packs. You want to get it up to a point where you, oh goodness me, I hope that didn't mess too much with the audio. I just like smacked the shit out of the mic arm. Anyways, yeah, so you want to get things all the way up to a point where it's kind of like auto progressing on its own, and then you can sort of move over. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to look at power. Now, one thing with power, and this is kind of why we need to get deeper into mystical agriculture, is you can actually make the power materials using essence. And of course, you can get the essence by making the seeds, and each one has their own seed recipe. Obviously, nitro is a little different because you're on the way far end, but spirited is typically where I see myself resting because it's obtainable, right? And spirited, you can see here, you can throw in advanced power bucks to assist. For the lower ones, I think you don't have to have them. They just help to make more. Yeah, it's interesting. Now, one mod that I typically use in order to improve power and really automate it, essentially, is laser IO. We don't have any laser IO in this pack, so we're going to have to come up with a new way to automate this, and we're also going to have to get some power into it, which, honestly, I think I have some spare windmills and stuff that I got from breaking all this stuff down. So let's just go set up some windmills and some solar stuff on there. That should be hopefully adequate. 1 windmill and 2 solar. Yeah. So, I think close to 100, right? And we will not worry about making this pretty. There we are. And power is generating. So now all we need is some gold and some iron, which we should have crafted up by now down below. Sorry. What I really need is some cough drops, but this is where my stubbornness comes in, and I've kind of already sat down, and so it's like, well, I'll get them when I get up. When will I get up? After I get done recording. Does that make sense? Logically, no. Am I doing it? Yeah, well, obviously. So there we go. We have some energized steel, and we should be down into power. And this is how we get to the structure compass as well, which is going to be beneficial for finding ancient cities typically, but also can be used for finding a nether fortress. So that's what we're going to try and do, is make this hardened capacitor here, and then make the structure compass, which should be fairly cheap. Yes. So that, well, let's go ahead and make a couple more of these, because I'm just gonna make the structure compass. There we are. And I think it's just these. We'll need some. Let's see. Do we have any in here? No. None in there either. Do we have redstone on us? We don't, so we'll have to go get some redstone. Redstone's one of those things that I'll probably end up duplicating up sooner rather than later. I've not actually checked the amounts on it, though, to see which level we truly need. So maybe we can do that together right here to actually show you how I go about figuring things out. So I typically start at the end result that I want and then try to find how to make it. Oftentimes going to the combiner is going to be your first and best bet, because the rest of this stuff just isn't as good. Of course, the enrichment chamber, taking 1 and making 12 isn't bad, but if we take a look at the combiner, advanced, we get 15. So you know what? Actually, the enrichment chamber might be better. Now let's see how much do we need to make this. We need 720 millibuckets. We get 90 for each, so you only need 8 redstone to make a redstone block. All right. And then you get 12 out. So again, 1.5 times. You can use the combiner, but then you're going to be using your bucks, and the combiner doesn't give you as much on basic, and it only gives you slightly more on advanced. So I'd say just use the enrichment chamber. But for us right now, we're just going to focus on making what we need here. So we do already have some dielectric and all of that. Let's take a look at the capacitor, basic, boom. This one requires, whoa. You can use a basic capacitor to make 1 now. That's pretty interesting. We're going to go ahead and make a large because it makes 2 and saves us the amount of hardened or energized steel we need to make the hardened capacitors, right? So there we go. That's interesting that some of the recipes have kind of been toned down a little bit. I don't think it's more efficient in that scenario to make capacitors like that, but you do whatever you want. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead and make the structure compass, and that'll set us up nicely for when we do go back into the nether. Beautiful. Which is what it's telling us we need now is blaze rods, blazing capacitor, because that gets us the elite power license. Yeah, blazing capacitors, paper and steel, not too bad. And then what does this give us? Obviously, elite power bucks. What can we buy? Gas burning generator, interesting. Oh, and the reactor and a nuclear license. Goodness. Okay. It also really helps with this. And it's how we get the ultimate power license. Interesting. All right, well, let's see where that goes. And the nuclear license. Put in ultimate power bucks and get reprocessed fissile fragment. Demon core. Oh, goodness. That sounds terrifying. Ultimate power bucks. Whoa, radiation relief TM. Oh, goodness. So we'll be getting into some kind of radiation, and then 3 blazing gets you 2. And I'm hoping the gas burning generator works really well. But the reactor, this is... Oh, you can also just make it. Oh, okay, so we don't actually have to go through that to make it. Cool. And then that. Yeah, okay. So once we make it, we have it fine and dandy. So we don't even have to buy it or wait. Right on. Well, y'all know that the reactors from Power are my favorite. They require 1 bucket of water. That's it, just 1 bucket. Redstone, coal, uranium, uranite, whatever you want to call it. Uranite is what you actually need, but of course we can use mystical agriculture to get that. You can also use uranium. No, you have to use uranite. No, usually you can use uranium, so that's really odd. Oh, but you can turn it straight into uranite in a combiner? That might be useful for automation, because then you don't have to worry about going through this process. Of course, you can also just make it using mystical agriculture. So we'll see as far as which approach we really want to use here for getting uranite. But yeah, uranite, redstone, coal, some kind of snow block or ice block. Let's see. Can we make ice in this? Ice essence, of course we can. Okay. Ice, inferium. So we'll have to find some ice first, but that's fine. That's no big deal. All right. Well, happy with all of that progress and happy that we got our structure compass. Let's see. Let's go check on the quarries real quick, because not that anything's really changed out there, but more mining has commenced. So yeah, we're slow. Kind of looks like the AT&T bar is going down with the water there. We're slowly but surely clearing this away. We need to set 1 more up on the back here and 1 more on this side, and then, well, finally 1 in the middle, and we'll have like 9 chunks fully mined down, which is really awesome. And this one's still working, yeah? You can hover at it and see which Y level it's at. So this is Y minus 17, 53. That one's almost done. 22 and 12. They are still powered. They do need a little bit of loving. That. Ow. That. Technically, the powered one doesn't need coal. So, or charcoal, whatever. But it can use it to speed it up. So I typically like to throw some in there. And yeah, that'll just keep on rocking and rolling. All right. Now, one bad thing about all this different kind of armor we're wearing is we've taken out some of the best armor possible. Our chest piece here does 12 armor and 5 armor toughness, whereas this only does 8 armor and 2 armor toughness. Still not horrible, but, you know, we would like for it to be better. Now, we do have some osmium and some redstone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make another chemical tank. I guess this would be the easiest way. Basic chemical tank. Can we actually... Let's see. Scuba tank, jetpack, flamethrower. Wow, interesting. Advanced. Osmium and infused. So we basically have that. We have all the infused. I just need to go make some osmium. We're going to do that real quick, because essentially what we can do is fill up this tank, carry it with us, and then we'll have a resupply on our jetpack fuel for when we do go into the nether, right? So I think this is osmium here. Yes, cool. We'll take stack -1, throw it in. Oh, we actually also had some osmium right there. So let's take the basic chemical tank. And where is it? There we go. This can hold 256 buckets worth of hydrogen, which obviously you can see we really don't burn through it that fast. I've kind of been casually flying around the base here, and it's still at 95%. If we throw that in there, it'll start doing its thing. And yeah, we don't have any upgrades in it, but what I could always do is, as long as we're not using this one, come in here, throw all the energy ones in, throw all the speed ones in, and it should be going, yeah, at a much faster rate. It's also not got enough power to really keep up, though. How much does this use? Using about 900, so yeah, more than what we can afford. But that's okay, because we're not using anything else. And these are just 4 advanced solar generators powering everything, so they all only produce about 109. Yeah, but that's all right. We'll get into some better power when we get into power, right? Now, the next thing that I do want to address is, well, basically applied energistics, because I think applied energistics is how we're going to actually automate power, given we don't just go straight into mystical agriculture. And I'm thinking down here is where we're going to have our applied energistics base. I really like this sort of watery bit. I just like, in general, the whole setup for our base is very... Ooh, what? How did you... Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Let you burn up in the sun here. I think it's very complementary to building freely and open, kind of like what we've done here. You know, some of my bases are very geometrically, sort of mathematically, you know, this is a circle leading to a line and a square, and it's sort of shape-based. This one's kind of more free art. It's just got a free flow to it. It kind of feels Greek Roman-esque with all the diorite and the granite and stuff, but I'm really enjoying the base as it's coming along here. And I do a lot of the building off camera, but I am curious as to if y'all would like to ever see just kind of a base decoration episode where I literally just go through and kind of tone some things up, because there are quite a few aspects here that I would like to fix or improve, such as this is kind of just a big old square now that I'm seeing it from the sky, and I would like to make that maybe less such. And the garden, I kind of want to continue some of the gardening on around here. Maybe we need to build a bridge over to the Nether portal, and then yeah, just continue our path down on and in. So yeah, what do y'all think about the base? Is it something that you would build yourself? Is it a new style building that you enjoy? Or is it something that you're like, wow, I've seen that a million times? Because I don't know what you've seen. So maybe you've seen a lot of people build these style of bases. And on top of that, what is your favorite kind of base to see in general? In mod packs, do you like to see a direwolf style base where it's minimalistic, 9x9, gets the job done? Or do you like to see, you know, some pizzazz, something more like a chosen architect, right? Where it's like, put in some work and some hours. Let me know down below. I'd be interested to hear the input. I'm going to try and take all this stuff out of here because I do want to get our mystical agriculture stuff set up, I think, in its own little chest here. That way it's easier to read and everything. There we go. And yeah, another reason why we need to get into applied energistics too. I've just not really got into some of the bucks, but that's, again, one thing I've really been enjoying with this mod pack is just how it diversifies your time. Typically, when you get one thing completed in mods, you get progress in everything slightly. But in this, it's kind of like incremental. It's a little more incremental, and that's been really nice to experience and go through. Now, I think we are going to call it for this episode. I know we said we may go back into the Nether, but I honestly don't want this to be too long of an episode. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll go into the Nether and we'll use the structure compass to go find a fortress, but I don't think I'm going to take on the fortress right now. I don't want this to be an incredibly long video necessarily, or really, you know, standard length, I guess, for us. I'd prefer for it to be a little bit shorter because I do have some additional tasks and things that I need to get completed today. No structure has been shift, right? And then we're looking for fortress, Nether fortress. What is it called? Nether. Not looking for additional structures. Nether fossil, Nether building. What is, I thought it was called a Nether fortress, right? Is it just called a fortress? No, because this thing is going crazy. Okay, well, I have an idea. Oh, maybe that worked. We just had to right-click. 364 blocks. All right, and we don't have to worry too much because we can always hit /home and be good to go. We just have to keep an eye on our fuel. All right, here we are. Flying through the Nether. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. A couple of brambly bits. Oh, that looks kind of nasty down there with all that fire. Oh my goodness, it's right here. We're so close. We're so close. I need to get some silk touch so I can get that spawner down there, because honestly, I think getting a blaze spawner would be the best solution for us. Let's go land back over here and we'll go /home and well, yeah, that was really simple. All right, well, never mind. Exploring the Nether. Check. Just need to get silk touch now, which might be a little harder said than done, right? Oh, we can use the enchanter. Hopefully it actually works in this mod pack. Y'all know it's not been working for me in another mod pack. I won't name any names or point any fingers, but I'm not happy about it. Experience capsule. Okay. And then how much did this say we need? 128. That's not, and some slime balls. But you can get this from clay and biofuel. Okay, so that's obtainable. Panda sneeze. I like how JEI, MEI, what are we using? We're using MEI. I like all of the information. Anyways, this is really interesting. I'm not going to read through all that, but yeah, so we're going to probably call it there on the episode. We did actually end up getting into the Nether, which is really cool. We got some Power stuff basically set up, Jetpack online, a lot of really good progress. I think flight might be the best, and honestly something that we could have achieved much sooner. So I do apologize that we've not been flying around the base quicker than now, basically. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section if you have any extra tidbits, tadbits, or tips that may help me and anyone else that may read the comments. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I do try to get around to every comment. Obviously, I miss some because I'm just one man and I got a busy life, but whenever I see them and I read them, I leave a little like and a heart. And sometimes I try to respond if I can. If you're asking me a question, I try to respond because I'm like, okay, you need some information, and I get that how that goes. So, like, comment, subscribe if you're new here. You want to see more awesome content from yours truly. Obviously, you should share this out with friends, family, strangers down the street, random people you might meet at the supermarket, Super Bowl, and of course at the super fun slip and slide. As per the usual, I do appreciate each and all of you. I hope you all stay safe, stay awesome, and stay crafting. Until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people. Peace out.